Hey, FOB Youth. Today is day 23. Can you believe that? We're almost a month into this devotional, and today is so good. I am excited. I've been reading it over and over and over again, and today we're talking about unmet expectations. I don't know about you, but I have had expectations that were not met. Maybe it's we trusted someone and they fell through, or maybe you thought your obedience would bring blessings, or maybe you prayed a prayer and expected a certain answer and it wasn't answered. And maybe you had this expectation that would be a one-time thing and it's a vicious cycle. Let me tell you, this is unmet expectations always result in disappointment. They always result. And oftentimes we have an expectation for God to move or respond to us in a certain way. And so one thing is we could pray for healing, and we still have to bury a loved one. We could ask for protection, and things could still happen. So when an unmet expectation happens, a lot of times it's based on the understanding that there's a certain rhyme or reason. When it comes to expectations, it's normally because we have a certain understanding of something. And so our unmet expectations tempt us to doubt God and believe that we would have God be in a box or be in a certain way, or we have been deceived that God is not who he says he is. And in these moments, we have to be careful not to limit God, or limit him with our own understanding, or limit him with our expectations of him. We must choose to remember who God is and what he's done for us already. He is trustworthy, and he has promised us certain things, and his promises are secure. And so God hears every prayer. Let me tell you that. He hears every prayer. But your prayers might not be answered the way that you think. But that doesn't mean that God is not working for the best in that situation. And so he may not answer always or respond in a certain way, but his way is always best. And I want you to remember that. Let me tell you, I've prayed many prayers for loved ones and even close loved ones, for healing, and they weren't healed. And it can be discouraging. But then you take a step back and you have to realize that God is eternal, and he's working everything for the eternal glory. And so we may not receive healing on this earth, but in heaven, God has brought us victory. He conquered the grave. And so heaven is complete healing from everything, from sin, from the grave, from everything. And so the Lord does not cause bad things to happen. But, however, God will use our disappointments and turn them around for his good and his glory. We must be expecting that God will move on our behalf, no matter how dreary or bleak it might seem, that God is still moving. And we must not be careful, or we must be careful not to limit God and how he's working. So I want to pray for you today, that your unmet expectations would not be hindering God, that we wouldn't expect God to move in a certain way, but we would understand that whatever way God moves, it's for the best. Whatever way that God uses us is for best. And so in the kind of scripture reading, it's in Isaiah, and it's going through, my thoughts are not like your thoughts, and my ways are far beyond your ways, or anything that you could imagine. God is just saying how big he is, so trust me. Basically, God created everything, and he's saying, hey, look around you. Look how small you are. Trust me. Trust me that I've got this for you. So I want to pray that you would trust God and that he's got you. So Lord, I pray right now for these students, God, that they would trust you, God, and know that you have the control of the situation, Lord, that you are not away, you are not hindering, or you're not falling away from them, but God, you are moving everything for your glory, for the best of us and for your kingdom, God. And so I just pray the Lord